Seyfarth first got involved with Swords to Plowshares when Mo Sidor, who is now the Director of Legal Services at Swords, came to our offices and gave a presentation just talking generally about Swords to Plowshares and the type of work that Swords does. And the attorneys were immediately excited about it. And so that partnership started in 2015, and we've been working with Swords to Plowshares ever since. We eventually started working on these clinics that were focused on the military sexual trauma, and I think some of the just astonishing statistics that we were learning from Swords about these veterans and the instances of assault in the military, you couldn't set that aside. We had to be involved and we had to do something. The case that I keep going back to is this woman who came up to our desk at the East Bay stand down. She had suffered from military sexual trauma, both within her service and also some domestic violence in her personal life. And knowing that she could come forward confidently and speak to us, that there was a team of people available to listen to her story, and that it wasn't just going to end with an intake or a small amount of services at East Bay stand down, but that it was going to be able to get passed on to a caseworker, that there was someone who was going to be able to help her with the resources she needed for school, for getting childcare for her daughter, for feeding her family. It was very moving to see how this little act of listening to her made such an impact, and it matched up so perfectly with our values. We came up with this new concept of a doc review where our attorneys would be trained to review these records, focus on triggers or evidence of military sexual trauma, and then work up the case file so that at the end of the project, our Seyfarth attorney would hand over a file and provide a little analysis of where we thought the strengths and weaknesses of that individual's case might be. Part of what I love so much about working with Swords is that Swords to Plowshares is always taking the holistic view of a person, of our clients, and the partnership with Seyfarth, with all of the different pro bonos from the many, many firms that support Swords to Plowshares, is so incredible because all of us get to be a part of that holistic approach. And for me, it aligns very closely with Seyfarth's approach. As a firm, we're not tackling just one challenge that our clients are facing. We know that that challenge needs to be seen in the context of an entire business, an entire existence in our world, and how we fit and move and interact with the world around us. And Swords to Plowshares has that same community-focused value. It's just one of those things that I'm very thankful for the opportunity to work with Swords, and I'm hoping that we can keep this partnership going forever.